All right. Well, we're back.
Another episode.
This will be episode 3. And for me, I wanted to do and have someone on that has helped me in my skateboarding career, helped me look at skateboarding through a different lens, the preparation for skateboarding, what skateboarding means, what it means to be a street skateboarder, and what it means to like really fight through the demons that skateboarding can bring, both physically, mentally, and on the board. And there was no one better to bring on the podcast than my boy, David Reyes. And, me and David have been friends for more years than I can count, for sure, since we were kids. And we've had crazy careers in skateboarding. And David has fought through so much of skateboarding's kind of, I don't even know what you would call it, man. Just kind of ups and downs of skateboarding and the system of it, I guess, and never gave up. Has a process. And I think that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today was like your process of skateboarding. But before we get into all of that, welcome to Flip the Script.
Well, thank you for having me.
Is today the first day you've met Bear?
No.
Okay.
The first day we met Bear, we had a
that's
delayed
right.
flight.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
That's a different lifetime.
Oh, it was a long time ago, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known you for a long time. A few different lifetimes.
Yeah, chicken sandwiches. That's when Popeyes was having the shortage on the chicken sandwiches, and you went and bought like all of them.
Yeah, I forgot what it was, but
we were at a layover.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that wanted those sandwiches, so I had to give the dude some cash at the door. I felt like I was in a nightclub. And then I was like, yo, how many do you have left? There's like a line of cars around the block. I want to feed all the boys. She's like, I don't know. I'm like, here's $500. Like, give me everything you have left. And they freaked out. They just gave me the whole thing and they closed up shop. There was nothing left. We bought out the whole store.
Yeah. Yeah. We we were at Orange County Airport getting ready to go to, I think it was on a Sheckler Foundation tour.
Yeah.
And our flight got canceled. And it just kept getting, well, it didn't get canceled. It got pushed back. I remember we showed up there at like 8:30 in the morning. Got pushed to 11:30 and then 12:30. And then finally we were like, we ain't going out of here. And I only knew one person that lived close to John Wayne, and that was Bear. And so we all left the airport, came and hung out with Bear, got some chicken sandwiches, and then went back and flew on our merry way. But there's more to that story, but It's a different lifetime.
That was the first time, and then obviously the golf tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've never really had a chance to interact like on a friendship level, like, going out and partying and stuff, I think is mainly what it always is. And you don't really learn about a lot about someone, you know, on a deeper level till you actually sit down with them.
It used to be a good time. From what I was told.
From what you were told? Yeah.
I don't
was there.
remember it.
No, we were there, man.
Yeah.
And that's something else I want to talk about too is, David got sober before I did, like a month before, maybe 2 months before I did. And I was really wrestling with, am I going to be able to do this? Do I want to get sober? And having Dave really step up and like, nah, this is something we need to do, really motivated me and helped me to like take that first step to get sober and like change my life up. But I mimic and modeled a lot of my sobriety and a lot of my dedication to skateboarding 100% off of David. David looks at skateboarding so much different from your normal skateboarder, and he's got a crew like with Leo, and like there's a solid crew of skateboarders that David is with that are the epitome of skateboarding and street skateboarding. And I don't know, it's cool. It's just really cool. So I think like the first question that I got for you, dude, is like, why is skateboarding so important to you through all these years? Like, why is it so important? Like, what is the feeling? What's the motivator to keep you fighting through skateboarding when honestly skateboarding has like tried to get you to stop?
Let's see where to start with this. That's a great question. I think mainly just how I grew up was, we didn't have anything, like water, heat, all that stuff had been turned off multiple times to where we had a hose running from the neighbor's house into our shower. during winter. So I would, it was like, I don't ever want to go back to that. And the only way that I feel I will never end up there again, or won't ever end up there again, is if I continue doing what I love, whether it's skating or something, but putting 110% into it and going through the stages of suffering and, trial and error, and actually like learning to know these things and knowing what works and what doesn't work. And with skating, in a day, you go through what most humans would go through in a lifetime,
Yep.
but we go through it in a day, and feeling that, overcoming this battle where I felt like I wasn't going to be able to get out of that like mindset or that struggle. That's why I do it. It's rewarding, and it's also nice to have a goal and something that I'm looking forward to. So on a day-to-day basis of skating, I have a goal, a daily goal, and then I have an end goal where as long as I continue doing what I'm doing now, it'll pan out in the end. So it's like the steps I'm doing now and the mistakes and all the things that are happening at this very, very particular moment are just lining me up for my end goal. In my head, at least.
Yeah, which is which will be success eventually, through the process.
But I just really love skateboarding, Like, it got me out of, like, and it just goes back to how I grew up, It was like, dad was abusive. We had bail on him. Not too many people know this, but I was born in Yonkers, New York. And then my grandparents pretty much were like, hey, your dad's beating the shit out of your mom. We got to bail. Like, they didn't tell 3-year-old me this, but,
Right.
That's what happened. And, I was told I got, like, thrown downstairs and shit because I came out light-skinned and my dad's Puerto Rican, and he didn't think I was his. So there's a lot of, like, child trauma, which brings me to, like, I don't ever want someone to feel how I felt, feeling like I wasn't a part of anything. And then even with that, like, when we moved to Colorado, all the attention and whatnot was set on my sister because she was in gangs and shit, and obviously it's like Colorado, there's gangs, but she was a part of it. And like, she died on the couch multiple times and had to get resuscitated, and there's like a whole bunch of crazy shit that's happened. But pretty much what it came down to was I found this thing that separated me from that and showed me that I can do things on my own and that I can not be used to what I see. Like, I see struggle.
Yep.
I see that bills aren't getting paid, water's getting turned off. There's no food for weeks or months even, and it's just like we're just struggling. So, like, with that taught me how to, like, I don't want that. I don't like that feeling. I don't want, if I have kids ever, I don't want them to have that. But I also don't want them to not be grateful for what they do have.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give them everything.
Yeah. Well, you're breaking the cycle. Like what I hear in that, and I appreciate you talking about that on this. Like, I know your story. Like, we've been friends, and I think with the background that you do have, the perseverance that you do have and that you take into each day with you is like one of the things I admire the most about you, because of knowing your backstory, knowing what you went through. We used to be two peas in a pod, and we used to party together, and we used to,
Yeah.
But then there was a change that happened, and it's like we both tried to get healthy together, and like my childhood was different than yours. But what I'm saying is that, like, you found a way to break the cycle, and skateboarding happens to be that, like, that outlet for you that has broke the cycle. And just hearing you explain about it, it makes me feel a certain way, because like, I love you, and everybody that hangs out with you loves you, like, you are the energy, like, you are the spark on every tour. Anytime I call you, like, I know I'm gonna, like, get lifted up. It's kind of like talking to Bear. It's like, always, no matter what's going on, and you do get real with me with what is going on, but there's always this like optimism of like, yeah, but it's going to pass, you know? And a lot of people can learn a lot from you, for sure. I have, especially with this last project, that like you helped way more than you know. This Red Bull video part that I just did, and the documentary, I got the opportunity to do it, and they asked me who I wanted to, you know, film it. And that wasn't my main thing. My main thing was like, okay, I'll do this, but I need David Reyes to be with me for this whole project, because it will not get done if I do not step into like David's brain on how to do a video part. And I guess I kind of wanted to know, like, did you feel that, like, that you were a part of that project? Because I really wanted,
yeah.
Like, that was the goal, was to like, ideally in my head, I was like, I'm gonna finish a part, and while we're doing this, David's gonna finish a part, and then we're gonna both like do it, put our stuff out, you know. But you were a huge part of that, dude, and I just want to thank you. And
Of course.
people don't know, dude, like, David sent me most of the spots I skated in my video part were because David sent me these spots, and like would tell me to go watch a video, and like David helped pick the song for my part. Like, all of these things, because I really value your opinion and like your insight to skateboarding. And it's hard to find someone in skateboarding too that like knows how you skate, and that I can trust that they're not sending me down some like psycho spot where I'm going to get hurt. He knows my limitations. He knows what I am capable of. And he was sending me spots that he was like, you can skate this. Yeah. And even if I was like, man, I don't know, but like, if Dave says I can skate it, we've skated so long together. Like, I trust that. So, yeah, I just appreciate you, bro.
There's like, I wouldn't send you down like a black hole, you know. I wouldn't be like, all right, this is a good idea, I think, you know. Like, I know for a fact.
Yeah.
Like, I can look at a spot and I can look at a friend and be like, he's going to try this, and then that's what he tries without even talking to them, you know. But the thing is I just want to see my friends succeed, you know. And I really, I mean, the era that we grew up in, it was like you had to wait like 4 years for a video to come out, but there was more soul in it. And with that soul was time. So the time gave it the soul. You had so much time to film this video part that you were able to do all of the things that you know how to do. And obviously at that time there was no such thing as music rights, because it was like Wild West. People would just pick songs and be like, put it on VHS tape, it's good. But I still harness that feeling, because I remember when I would get like the hair on my arms would stand up and I would get goosebumps, because a certain point of a song and the trick lining up perfect, but for some reason maybe there was like a slight filter or like a sun flare, or like there was like something that made me feel something and made me remember that video part forever. You know, I will remember like those little sun flares or the little sayings, or like the way a particular song made me feel during the video part, or like the B-roll of like you getting up and you have blood all over your hands, and it's just like, this fool is out, he's at war right now, you know.
There's a feeling to it.
There's a feeling to it, because things these days, it's like, just how quick can we turn it around? How quick can we turn it out? So it's like, I'm going to skate my ass off for 4 weeks and put out a part. And you're like, 4 weeks is nothing.
It's nothing, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? You're going to do what's already been done on every spot in LA, and then just think that it's a project. It's not. Like, you want quality, and you want it to resonate and have shelf life. And the only way that you're going to do that is if you give it a soul. And in order to get a soul, you have to give it time, because you have to go through hell in order to come out the other, you know?
Yeah.
Is it like a storm? And it's like, I don't know, the whole
that's what it is.
but it's
but
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why like David looks at skateboarding different. And like a lot of skateboarders coming up, especially right now, can learn so much from watching just your video parts. Like, your video parts alone have the soul that you're talking about. Like, if you watch a David Reyes part, you are going to feel something, because he has attacked skateboarding like this his whole life. And for me, my grow up was like, yeah, I had a few parts when I was younger, but then I became what people say, like a contest skater, you know? So like there was a huge chunk of my, I guess my like best skateboarding years, if you want to call them that, that were spent like focused on competition. And I didn't really get to focus on the streets until I was a little bit older. And so now being able to focus on the streets, you know, I feel it a lot more for sure. But I still have that drive to like have a soul in my part. I'm not trying to put out a part in 1 year.
No,
I can't get it done in a year.
that's
because
not enough time.
It's not enough time.
No.
And I think where you're at right now too, like I've seen what you're working on right now, and it's gnarly. It's super gnarly. But like he's not satisfied. He's not putting it out this year. Yeah. He's still going. Like he's still working on this video part that's really gonna be like, obviously it won't be your last one, but it's gonna be one of the best ones that you've ever put out.
That's the goal, to continuously get better.
Yeah.
You know, slow and steady.
Yeah, I mean, even watching you guys over the years, obviously I'm not a professional skater, but you know, I've been involved in skating. My family's been involved in skating. We had like one of the largest skate parks in SoCal at our Hollywood Sports Park for 2-3 years. And we originally built it in 2001. We built it with vans, and we had tons of skate contests there, tons of movies. After like 3-4 years and tons of lawsuits, we had to get rid of it because kids were just breaking their arms. But like watching Shex attack skating and attack this like culture of skating, like you did it your way, right? Like Frank Sinatra style. And then watching your videos, watching your parts, and watching the way you skate, like even if you're not a traditional, if you don't have like a traditional eye for skating, like a true skater, you could still look at your videos and feel good. Like there's a nostalgia to you because obviously our age, we all kind of grew up at the same time, but there's like a nostalgia to your videos. There's like an emotional aspect that clicks.
Yep.
And not a lot of people have that, especially with social media and the way people use IG songs and TikTok viral songs and all these trends. And it's just about quick little clips. And look at me, I skated in front of a cop station. I'm a bad boy. Like we're still doing that. Like it, you know, so it's like, even when you see your videos, there's like this emotional, like cinematic part. Same with yours, like the music, the feeling, the soul. And it's because you guys grew up in an era where you actually had to care about skating. And I think so many people care about you guys and the way you guys put out parts because they know you care, right? There's a lot of like inauthentic skaters in today's time where people know they don't care. They're getting paid by some tea company or some vitamin company, and now they're like more a sponsored skater, and it's not the same. It's not the same world,
right?
You know, it's like it's a different element now that I look at. Even as a business owner or like someone who's connected, like Shex is building this platform to put on skaters, not to go, you know, try to put on a show to sponsors. Even though he's an amazing ambassador of his sponsors. It's this really authentic view of who you guys are and what you guys look at skateboarding. I think that's why people love you guys. You know, I'm blessed to be here and be able to talk to you guys about this because I think people need to see that. They need to see that side of these athletes. You guys are athletes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's always something. There's always something with David too. Like, not to butt in, but like this guy's the most creative, like out of the box thinker. Whether it's with skateboarding tricks, but we're not really talking. I'm talking about like business, like ideas for graphics for skateboards, like the box that it's gonna come in, or like, you know, when he was doing his sunglass thing with the tie-dye, like this guy is going and tie-dyeing 100 shirts a day because he wanted it to look a certain way and it had to have the feel. David's not scared of hard work, and it's really cool. And I guess like where we're at right now is like what's on the docket for you? What's next for David Reyes? That's like, you know, I know we got the part coming. There's no date on that.
No,
it's just
it'll be next year. I mean, I just had conversations about, like obviously, everyone wants to participate in like SODI and that whole running, and it wasn't a thing that you would ever like pick. Like, I'm going to work for this, you know? But like with
skater of the year.
Yeah, with how times are, it's like that's like something that you actually have to try to go for, you know? And for me, this is my attempt. So I want it to be good, and there's no deadline, and there's no obligation, and it's all on my own. So like you were saying, I mean, I have like 50 rough drafts with different songs, and like pulling like 16 millimeter footage from like stock websites to just like see how I can make this thing feel like triumphant and make it my masterpiece. Because skateboarding to me is poetry, and it's also it's such an art form. And there's a lot of tricks that you don't necessarily need to flip into or like do anything fancy into, like, you know, front side blunt or a back lip or a back nose blunt. Like
I know.
any of
I'm
those.
not flipping into nothing, dude.
But it's like there's so much form, and it is poetry. You know, it's like you see like your hands, and you can tell, like, you can see a photo of a skateboarder's hands, how they would be during like a trick, and I can circle the name and take the arrow to those hands, and I'm sure you could, and you know. And it's like, that's poetry. It's like, you could look at another person's hands and you're just like, this dude's been through it, you know? Like, so the project that I'm working on, I did the thank you part.
Yep.
Insane.
Which was my rediscovered, as Eric Bragg puts it. He's all, you got to get rediscovered. So it was like, the thank you part was the first video part that I've had hands on with how I want it to feel, how I want it to look. These are song references, and spent time with my friend Jordan Jones, who made the music, and was just like, pretty much told him my whole life, and told him like how I see it, and how, like, feelings of old parts of how they made me feel. And then that went into the 303 part, which was the first video part in a long time that I've filmed in all of Colorado.
Yeah, that was sick.
So like the last time I did that, I had to have been like 13 before it was like I was able to like leave. Even though we did meet when I was probably like 13 or 14.
Yep.
But so that video part was, I wanted the part to start where it all began, which was at Denver Park. And I wanted it to include who I was with when it all began, and that was Angel. So he was in the beginning of the part with me skating Denver Park. Like, we used to hop the fence when like the quarter pipes and stuff still had rebar and there was no concrete, and you'd skate over the rebar to flat, you know? So I wanted that, and then I wanted to highlight like that even though I might not live there, it's still my heart, you know? My heart beats because of Colorado.
Yeah, man, you're Sheriff Dave.
Yeah, I just want to be a glimpse of hope for those kids coming from Colorado, or even like the middle of the United States that had the same vision as I do, where it's like these people that I admire and that I'm influenced by are like fake. They're like imaginary characters. You know? I don't see them in real life because they're in California. So I always make it a point to go back to Colorado to show that as long as you always know where you came from, you will be a lot more appreciated.
Yeah.
You know?
And a part of.
Yeah. And you could be a part of this as well. And it's like, it's possible. So it's like, I wanted to film an all Colorado part to just show that I don't forget where I'm from.
Yeah.
And then also that it's possible for you to do the exact same thing. And to just like rejuvenate the Colorado skate scene of like, don't just be like moseying around and like putting out like 6 month work on a part for 6 months and put that out. Like, put your heart into it, give it a soul, and let's revitalize the skate world to like a quality.
Yeah.
We want quality, you know? We don't want like half-ass shit. So then that leads into my next part. So I've since that part, I've been simultaneously filming this part. So for a year and a half, I've just been fucking flooring it. And then about a month and a half ago, I decided to push it for next year.
Smart.
Which gave me time to I pretty much stopped skating for like 2 weeks after that. Like, I felt all this weight go off my shoulders. And then I started to feel like all like the injuries that I've been like disregarding to continue. And then I changed my diet. I've been training for the last month and a half and trying to get back down to fighting weight. And now I'm just like going on a 2-month trip, September 19th. So I start in Des Moines, and then I go to Nashville, Atlanta, North Carolina, Connecticut, Boston, Tallahassee.
And this is a trip that you set up.
I didn't set this one up.
Okay.
The last 2-month trip earlier this year, I set up.
Yeah, Dave
I set up a portion of
just
it.
Grassroots. Just sets up like, this is where we're gonna go, this is who's coming, and then shops that to like, hey, do you want to be a part of this? We're coming, we're doing this, and like makes flyers and like just 100% does it, like skateboarder, team manager, like squad leader.
The last 2-month trip was crazy because that was like my first jab at it to see like
Can I do it?
How I can do it. And my good friends Leo and Dakota and Jeremy Liabres and my friend Colburn Huff, also, they're all my best friends.
Yeah.
You know, we're allowed more than one best friend. But
that's true.
So yeah, I just like pretty much found a hotel that in Utah that had a skate park at it, and it's the Evo Hotel, and it's seriously the coolest hotel ever. And I was pretty much just like, this trip, I want to base it around all the places that I feel like could use a jump start in their skate community. Like Utah skate scene's pretty much dead. So it was like, how can I bring something special here and make it to where it's like the dude that films or used to film that had to get the job, like kind of lost his groove because the people that were skating were just partying and kind of just like didn't really care. I want this to revitalize them. I want this to like bring them back to life, to be like, you know what, fuck that, yeah, let's film this video part. Like let's like make a sick video and bring the skate scene back.
Yep.
So I worked out a deal with the Evo Hotel, and it's a all-together skate park or all-together skate shop. Runs the skate park, but then the hotel has like rock climbing, a sauna, 24 hours, a sick-ass gym, and you're in downtown. So it's like you're in the mix. You have all these great amenities, but then also we got a week at the hotel just so that we can film our video parts. So I set this demo up. I got product from everyone's sponsors. Skull Candy came in last minute, gave out a bunch of headphones. Red Bull set up like an after party with Red Bull, and then pretty much was just like, I don't know how I did this. You know, I figured this out, but then it was like all just so we can film our video parts. Same thing happened in Denver, where working with this hotel, they gave us 3 days, the Origin of Westminster, another great hotel if you're ever in Colorado. Amazing restaurant. You've been there.
We only ate there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Breakfast, lunch,
bison
dinner.
Fillets.
Yeah. So
Yep.
3 days comped, prorated for the next 4 days. The skate shop I skate for set up a demo to do it with them. We had Leo Romero, Dakota Servold, Aaron Jaws Homoki, and
Killers, bro.
Manny Santiago came in last minute.
Killers.
You know, Tori Pudwell.
Yeah.
And pretty much they covered the additional 4 days, so now we have a week. So now it's like, all right, we got an extra week.
This thing just
Insane.
kept morphing, dude. I was like, you know, it's like,
and I kept having to change the flyers because someone would be like, oh, we want in on this, like, here's some product. And I'd be like, all right, I'll add your flyer. Add your logo to the flyer, you know?
it was crazy, dude. And it's like, it was a process of like, can this work? And then it started to work. And like now it's becoming a thing where I'm like, I'm sitting at home with a newborn baby and I'm like, I want to be on this 2-month trip. Like I could travel with these guys, like no problem. But it looks
I want it to be
it looks fun.
a thing, you know? Like
is a thing,
I was talking to some people in Canada about bringing it up to Canada. But it's like I want to do it like how like Tony Hawk did like Boom Boom Huck Jam.
Yeah, or the Secret Skate Park tour.
Yeah, so it's like in my mind it's like I want to do that, or I want to like start a cartoon that kids could look up to that gets them to start skating or something. You know, I want to do these things.
Yeah.
And like the storyline kind of became a thing during the setting up of these trips. So, I mean, Leo and Dakota and those dudes, they live on the road, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they hear the calling and they're gone. Yeah. Like, 90-day trips. Just winging it. And,
So crazy.
Unreal.
So I wanted...
They literally just leave. They just go.
Yeah.
And they skate.
So
they
unreal.
skate every day, and they eat properly, and they hydrate, and they sleep good.
Yeah.
And, like, it is a full-blown, like, fun, gnarly job. And when I say fun, they know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're breaking their bodies, dude.
Yeah.
They're breaking.
Yeah.
They're grinding more metal than you've ever seen in your life.
It's
like, actually insane.
Yeah.
But, dude, so this goes along with this. So what we've talked about for the last, 15 minutes is just, like, all of this, like, productivity that you're doing. Do you find that that your creative juices have been a lot more like flowing because you stopped partying?
I mean, for sure, yeah. Like, in the beginning, I had to figure out what to put in these gaps, and what worked for me was, what did I do when I was younger? Like, what did I do to fill the gaps of time to bring some sort of joy into my life? And it was like, well, I played with toys in the dirt. I built some shit, whatever, you know, made a tree house. I rode my bike, and then I watched Rocket Power, and I skated, rollerbladed, did it all. It was like, all right, now fast forward just a little bit. Well, now what can you do as an adult that will replicate those feelings that you had when you were younger, that will bring that nostalgic joy into your life? And it was like, well, now I could build shit with power tools. I could rent a car. I could buy flights. I could do things. And then it was like, but also I have a voice that and a creative mind to where I can, or at least like I try to think that I have like a creative mind to be able to like pitch an idea to someone and then be able to create this thing that I find beautiful and everyone benefits from it.
Yep.
And then it was just like, well, I can do that. And skating's number one. It's my first true love. And I'll skate my ass off because that's where I get my most joy. But then it was like I got into biking and I would do like 10 miles, 20 miles, whatever. And then I'm an extremist. So then I was just like, fuck it. Let's ride our bikes from San Francisco to Long Beach.
Yeah.
And then it turned into middle of the summer where it was just like, well, let's tie a cause to it and like give back to like skating.
Yep.
And this was with like Oliver Flores and Axel Kreisberg and
That was
friend
a charity
Mikey
event,
that I
right?
grew up.
You did
Yeah.
that for charity. Yeah.
So then we just like threw it into like a charity thing, and it was Bridge to Skate, which is an after school skate program in Compton. And then it was just like, fuck it. Well, San Francisco's on fire, so let's reroute and we'll go Phoenix to Long Beach. Middle of the summer, 110 degrees, like, you know, it's fucking crazy. But we ended up raising like about 10 grand. We got their skate park like redone, and then it was just like, how did me just trying to fill these gaps turn into me riding my bike from Arizona to California?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But on the off chance that she sees this podcast,
Yeah.
tell us about your Miley Cyrus tattoo.
Oh my God.
No. Wait, you have a Miley Cyrus tattoo?
I do. Yeah.
Just on the off chance that Bear somehow knows her manager or
Yeah.
something.
I'm going to finish the first thing I was talking about, and I'm going to tell you about my Miley Cyrus tattoo.
It has to do with the bike ride.
I gotta
does.
hear the Miley Cyrus.
All right,
It has to do with the
does
bike
make
ride.
sense.
Yeah.
It's not
All right.
random. It's not just
Yeah,
some off question.
It's funny because when I think about it, I'm like, damn, this is a random tattoo. But it is not. It's real. So it's on my leg forever. So,
and it's big.
So every morning we'd wake up at like 5 a.m.
Okay.
And it was like, today we're going to ride fucking 75 to like 90 miles or 100 miles, whatever it's going to be. So in order for me to get juiced, me and my friend Mikey, we would just listen to Miley Cyrus, blast it, you know?
Like Party in the USA?
Like all that shit. Yeah.
Loved
So
it.
like that and like just pop music, but mostly it was Miley Cyrus. And it as like a 33-year-old man, I was like, this is insane. We're listening to Miley Cyrus. Like my little sister used to watch Hannah Montana, and I was just like, how am I listening to Miley Cyrus now? And how do I like Miley Cyrus? You know, like what the fuck?
She got good bangers.
I know.
Yeah.
So, so pretty much as time goes on, it's like you want the trip tattoo. You want the thing that like you remember, like you look down and you're just like, God damn, that was a crazy time. Can't believe you rode like 600 plus miles
On a bicycle.
and not just
Insane.
not like good weather at all. It was like 110 degrees for like the first like 3 or 4 days. Literally alone, dirt road in the middle of the desert. Just listening to Miley Cyrus. Like by myself. I'm just like, because everyone goes at their own speed.
How far are you in front or behind someone?
I was in the middle because we had a follow car, but I just bought all these bags and shit, and I was like, I'm not putting my shit that I just bought in the van. So I had all my weight. So I carried my weight.
But like Miles, he's not seeing you up there.
Yeah, like, can I talk to you while we're riding? Or
No.
No, like
No.
miles ahead of someone.
Yeah. There's no one
I
around.
can't do all that.
So
Solo, just with your thoughts and Miley.
No, I can't do that.
yeah, see, but no one had their speaker or anything. Like I had like my basket in the front, and I had like snacks in my speaker and my fucking.
What are you doing this on, a beach cruiser?
No, it's a Fairdale Nomad.
Oh, like
weekend
an-
Nomad.
oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a road bike.
It's like a road bike with gears.
Yeah. Big tires and shit. But so anyways, I get back home after that trip, and I was just like, shit, I should have got a tattoo. I mean, I wasn't gonna like stop somewhere while I was like doing this ride. So then I just ended up getting a Miley Cyrus tattoo on where it hurt the most, which was my quad.
Out of nowhere?
as a remembering of.
Just woke up and we're like, that's the tattoo that I'm getting for the trip. Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Did you go with anybody to get it?
No, it's just me.
How long did it take you to
It
do
was
this
in
trip?
my kitchen.
How long was this trip?
This trip took 7 days.
Straight.
7 days from Long Beach.
I went from Arizona to Long Beach.
To Long Beach.
Yeah, that's hot.
So I only bring that up because we've been trying to figure out a way to
Yeah.
get
Can we
the-
see it?
to
Can we
get
see
the
it? Let me see this
introduction.
thing.
Drop trout.
Yeah. Let me just see what we got over here, dude.
It's a big Miley.
Oh
Cyrus.
my God. Make sure the camera can get this. This is a legitimate Miley Cyrus heart tattoo. Yo, put your thighs up on display. This video just went to 18 plus only now.
Yeah, Miley.
Unreal. Hey, but what a way to remember it, because now you have stories forever. See, that's what I love about these types of things.
It's story and it's fun.
creates the
dude.
energy.
Like it's fun. And speaking of like trip tattoos, like that.
You have
that's
one?
funny. I'm sorry to put you on blast.
no, hey, that was good though. That's a respectable on
But, like-
I needed to see that.
I mean, that's where it hurt.
Miley might see this, bro.
Yeah.
Who knows?
See, but that's
You look
where-
like a guy Miley would be into though. Like
I
jawline, good hair, the whole thing.
I'm
Like
glad-
you look
thank
like
you.
you look like you could do a little date with Miley.
I mean,
You might be able to pull
I'm a
Miley.
nice guy.
You might put skateboarding on your back and pull Miley.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm a hopeless romantic.
Oh, that's nice.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We have tons of trip tattoos,
You have one?
tour tattoos.
He has a Miley tat.
I
Just
don't
kidding.
I don't have a Miley tat. I don't.
You have any good trip tattoos?
We have so many, dude. Like most of my thighs and ankle, I got a 303. I got a Denver
Yeah.
sheriff badge tattoo with Dave.
He's been deputized, so he can go without me whenever he wants.
yeah.
Wow.
I got the
That's some good respect.
Yeah.
I got the hall pass to go to Colorado. But you don't want to go to Colorado without Dave. Period.
Yeah.
You won't find the spots, and you won't get the warm and fuzzy reception that you get when Sheriff Dave's in
Local
town.
Yeah.
hero walks in.
Yeah.
You know, Dave, I'm looking at your videos, and one of the things I think a lot of skaters that look at guys like Ryan and yourself, you guys have this ability, and we always talk about this, to transcend these generations. Like you guys went from this generation of kind of like no social, kind of social, realistic, like video parts are like in premiere theaters as like an ordinary norm, to then having to play in this new social game and doing it at the highest level. And not that you guys are social media influencers or content creators, but you're professional skateboard athletes that create content now. So it's kind of like a different world.
Well, you could call us influencers because we do influence
But
skateboarding.
I don't want to. I don't want to say you're not like a professional athlete. Most influencers aren't. They're not professional.
Yeah,
you
fair
know.
enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
so like just for the respect level of the athleticism that it takes to do what you do. Not that influencers aren't athletic,
Right.
but there is an athlete inside of you that competes in athletic form, whether you win a medal or not. That's what
Yeah.
it does when you have to go do an ender at like
Clipper, bro.
Yeah, like-
let's start. You.
Yeah.
Hey.
So like, but before I get into it, because I kind of want to feel like what goes into the idea, like you're doing these trips because you have like an emotional tie to something that you're breaking through. Like you guys both became like, I don't want to give you this role and put pressure, like role models, but you guys kind of showed people that aren't on the right path that, at any point you can get back on the right path and have like the ability to open up someone's eyes to say, it's not over till it's over. It's not the end till it's the end. And you
It
could
ain't
put out
over
the
till the bell rings.
Yeah, you could
And
put
I
out
ain't
the,
hear no bell.
yeah, the best part of your life at this age and kind of have an entirely second chapter of your career at Ryan's age and your age and the thank you part and whatnot. But like,
Are we all 33?
yeah, I just turned 33 yesterday.
Oh,
I'm 33.
happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'm 33.
You're 33.
It's the
A lot of
a-
threes
it's
here.
the age of completion. I heard that from Sheckler.
A lot of threes.
It's a lot of good energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
like just
you
what
say
goes
your
through your
age.
mind. Yeah.
We're let's just get it. We're all the same exact age.
Yeah,
exact.
I'm your guys' age for sure.
Yeah.
But like what goes Yeah.
Still different.
Yeah.
Same.
Same, but different.
Same.
I just want to know, like, realistically, because obviously I haven't had the ability to have the adrenaline rush I can imagine you get or the mindset. Like, I've seen him look at a mountain and be like, I'm going to jump off this. And I've seen you look at a staircase and be like, I'm going to, like, backside this. Whatever it is that you look at and you're like, I'm going to do this. What goes through your mind that allows you to do that? Because I can't put myself in that. Like, I can't
Well,
talk about that. I've never had that feeling.
I don't know. I feel like I have a dark sense of humor. So I think about it like I really want to do this, but I also really want to feel something about it. And being scared and overcoming being scared makes me feel good. So it's like someone might eat toilet paper or have this weird thing, you know? Like, what is it? My Strange Addiction, like that show. So it's like, I'm addicted to being scared. I'm addicted to, like, I love true crime stuff. I like forensic files, you know? I like dissecting things and figuring out how it works. Not literal things, but, like, task. So, like, for me to skate a big rail, I break it down. Like, I size it up, you know? I can see like a weird shadow that goes into like a crack, and I'm just like, that crack is gonna fuck me up, so I fix it. Any type of distraction that there is, there's this leaf on this tree that's kind of weird, and I'll remove the leaf. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll see my friend looking at something that wants to skate it, or even like Ryan.
Yeah.
And I see where his eyes go, and I'm just like, it's gone. Don't worry. And I'll cut it out. Whatever it is. There's a fence in the way. The fence is gone.
Teamwork.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I have this thing that I like dissecting these emotions and trying to figure out like what it is that makes me scared and how do I overcome that fear. So for me to want to skate like a 20 stair rail or something, it's like I'll stand at the steps that I'm comfortable with, the amount sliding. So I'll walk down like, 10 stairs. So now I'm at a 10 stair, and I look at the 10 stair and I'm like, if this was just a 10 stair, I would gap at least 5 or 6 of these steps. I'm only sliding about 3. That's like millisecond of your life. I walk up about another like 5, and now I'm at 15. And I'm like, all right, you're gapping 5 or 6. You're sliding 6, 5, whatever, It's not the whole thing that you're skating. You're only skating a section of it, and all it takes is a millisecond for you to just commit to it and just like kind of desensitize yourself to like pain and just know that whatever happens, but you can get fucked up. But to be 100% confident and know that your gap, it's just that first leap, the first one step. If you can just jump that first step and get to where you wanted to go, it's going to be a millisecond of your life, and it's over.
But it's a scary, scary millisecond. Dude.
Yeah, like I've rolled up to, like, for instance, I was telling someone this story yesterday, and there's this, like, when I filmed that all Colorado part, there's all these spots that like all the OGs used to skate that were like, they were the gnarly dogs, like Travis Law, like they only skated the big stuff. So there's like this feeling where you're like, only the craziest people skate this thing. And I was a bitch back then when I would look at these spots. And then as I got older and I've skated like bigger rails and like, hubbas and gaps and shit, and I've like put myself on the line in multiple situations and gotten out decent, I was like, all right, I can skate these things now. And I went back to those things to film this video part, and I was like, good God, I'm still a bitch. Like, they're still scary as fuck.
Yeah.
So one of the spots was this 13 stair rail at the college that I did a back over crook on it in my 303 part. It's like a big fat round brown rail at Auraria campus.
I board slid that thing, and it was frightening.
Yeah. So going back to like, there's like a shadow shining onto the ground and shit. So this thing gets bondoed and, people fixing cracks and stuff. But like, this thing has always been kind of offset. And when people bondo, they don't go from like the high point to the low part to make it like good, to level it. They'll go from like over here and like smear it all over there. So there's still a dip, but then now there's like this extra lump because they didn't level it out properly. So for an hour and a half, I'm chiseling all the old bondo out, and I'm sanding the ground to make sure that there's no lumps or anything like from like the past bondos.
He's an absolute perfectionist to get to like, if you want to go skate something that is like possibly not skatable and you bring Dave, you're skating that. So be careful what you tell Dave you want to skate.
Yeah. I have a trunk filled with no excuses. I have 2 kill bags. I have like a whole fucking setup.
I love it.
So it's like, I bondoed this rail and I made it as good as I could possibly make it. Like, I'm like leveling it, making sure we're good. There's like a slight little hole where you can see like it's not like bondoed enough. But I'm like, it's fine. It's so much better than what it was. So then I board slide it. I 50 it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to backlip it because I wanted to back over crook it. So usually I do board slide back Ryan, back lip. Then I can jump on back over crook. Could not get myself to jump on back lip to save my life. Mid-air, I ollie thinking I'm going to back lip, and my body just locks this way, like full, just scared. And I grind the rail completely backwards and make it. just like back 50'd it, but like so wrong. Like I should have gotten so wrecked.
Smoked, yeah.
Like my front truck should have went to backsmith, and I should have like went to my head for sure. Like with the momentum and everything, I was supposed to be doomed. So that was day 1. So day 3, I go back and I add a little bit more Bondo where I saw that shimmer, and I do board slide, back grind, and I back lip it. And then I try to go for back overcrook, and the same thing happens. I lock up, and I just grind a back grind. Super crazy, like backwards, completely backwards. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why can't I do this? And then I had to remember that
real scary.
The only reason that this is happening is because I'm thinking of all the OGs that used to skate this thing, and only the best steps to it at that time when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
So like all of the spots that I skate in Colorado still have those feelings where I'm just like, how does this thing that doesn't have a heartbeat make me feel like this? And then like, how do I overcome it? And then that's me dissecting it and figuring it out. And then I get myself to skate it. And I'm real obsessive. So I will think about this thing forever, and I will do tricks so many times with that spot in mind. Mm-hmm. So I went to the skate park and I did probably like 30 back overcrooks on the skate park rail. And that's one of my old faithfuls. Like that's a trick that I know how to do. And I know it well. Like I've done everything completely wrong to where I know it. And I went back and I saw the shimmer. So I bondoed that shimmer, literally mixed up like a 50-cent piece size bit of Bondo, little mix, and we just like, just sealed it. And then I did board slide, back grind, back lip, and I back overcrooked it second try.
Yeah, no problem. And it was so good. But it's,
you know, like,
it's the buildup.
But it was like, what the fuck? And
yeah,
like,
it's just crazy to me.
That's me, and I do that often, and I don't know why. And I'm just like, I really enjoy this thing of like this struggle and suffering and being able to overcome it. And I feel like that comes from my childhood. I feel like the reason that I make things so difficult is because I almost want to get to the point of like how emotionally fucked I was when I was a child, and bringing that into something positive and applying it to something that means everything to me. So that's what I end up doing. And I don't understand why, but it all stems back to my childhood. And that's just what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you go from Yonkers jockeying cars, and then you go to this like inspirational person, like overcoming and showing people the fight through adversity, to then, you know, you and Chex obviously taking over the skate world, to then just being able to conquer any trick and any part you want. Like there's obviously something in you guys that pushes you guys, whether it's trying to show the OGs that you guys are as good as you guys always thought you were, or trying to show yourself you're as good. But there's something that it's not like a competition fire that just like fades away. It's something inside of you guys that pushes you guys to do this. And I don't think people can explain it.
One of the things that I learned during the time I was partying, and like, it's funny to look at it because like I would be on a bunch of coke and just be like fired up, you know? So now I just drink a bunch of caffeine, and like, I'm like a caffeine junkie now.
I drink 3 Red Bulls a day.
This is my 3rd one.
Shout out Red Bull, sugar free.
Yeah, but see, then I'm also calorie counting now, so I'm like, I got to go sugar free.
Do you really calorie count?
I've been.
Not to sidetrack you.
The last like week and a half, because I was trying to get back down to fighting weight, and I was like 155, but I've been hitting the gym and like doing training and all this stuff, but I couldn't drop the weight. And then it was just like, well, what's in your smoothie? And I was like, peanut butter, granola, almond milk, and it's just like, all right, so your smoothie pretty much has like 800 calories in it. And I was just like, God damn it. So then I after like literally 2 weeks, and now I'm like, my fighting weight's like 143, 145, and I'm at 147 now. So I'm just like, it's showing results.
Yeah. 90% diet.
Yeah. So thing is, I would be partying and I would be up, and I always wanted to know why the greats were the greats. So I would watch documentaries on like everyone that was like top tier, you know, like you got Jay-Z, but then you'd also go like Beyonce, you do Miley, and you would do like the, you know, Denzel Washington, and you would do like all the best of the best, and like why they're so great. And it was always their work ethic and how they presented themselves. And I really admired that. And I was just like, when I was younger, I would always be like, we have it bad, but someone always has it worse. And I would always think that, you know? So like, while I'm all like fucked up, like getting all like inspired by like the greats, but they always had this story where it was like every emotion is the same. There is no, you are hurt more than I am because you didn't get that toy for your birthday. That hurts bad, but it's the same. It's the same hurt as you lost someone. You know, like there is just hurt.
Yep.
You know, and I always looked at it like that when I was growing up, where it was just like, sure, like we don't have water or food or whatever, but like we have water running from the neighbor's house, so I'm able to shower. And it's funny because I have that story now where it's like, we had the neighbor's hose through the window and I had to walk fucking 5 miles uphill in a snowstorm in Colorado. Like, this is real. This is a real story. And that didn't last one day. That was like 2 weeks. And it's just like, I always knew that someone has it worse than I do. So I'm always going to be grateful for where I'm at and what I have going for me. And I feel like that inspires me to be that glimpse of hope for the people that are in Colorado or beyond to the other side of the coast. You know?
It transcends Colorado. It's literally the skate world.
And obviously, I'm all strapped, and I start getting like out of line. But I'm just like, the thing is we all have it bad. You know, sure, it might be good, but it's like, I don't even know where I'm going with this now. I'm just like losing track. But it's like, you might think you have it bad, but someone always has it worse. So don't be a dickhead and just like inspire each other. Is like what it comes down to, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try to like swim upstream. I was like, God damn.
No, I mean,
I'm sinking.
I think everybody's trying to like inspire people in a way, but also it's like everybody fights their own demons. You have to be okay with that. Like, I think you said this on the first podcast. Ryan was like, yo, there needs to be this open forum where people can like, not just talk about mental health as a buzzword, but an actual like something that has emotion and something that can help people. You know, like we can't just throw things around like, oh, we're all going to help each other and not actually try to get to the root of the problem. That's what I think you've done so well these last couple of years, is that you've become this person that's like comfortable in your skin enough to know what you've done, but comfortable in your skin enough to know where you're going. So it doesn't affect you to talk about it. I think a lot of people have an issue talking about the past because they don't know what's next. So when they talk about the past, it adds more scared, fear, timid, like emotional aspects, you know?
For sure.
I use all trauma as motivation.
Yeah.
And like, that's just how it is. That's just like, all I know is struggle, you know? So I'm just like, I'm going to use my struggle to like uplift me and uplift my bros.
But in an efficient way, like you're saying.
In a positive way.
Productivity is like insane between both of you guys. You know, when he told me you were coming on here, obviously I knew about you, and obviously I've seen you around and we're friends, but like I said, not on a deep level.
Yeah.
But everybody knows the productivity. Everybody sees the parts and the videos and the tricks, and like whether it, you know, like I said, whether you skate or not, you see that there's something different about you.
Yeah, there is.
I also feel like it goes back to the whole rediscovered thing, you know? It's like musicians make music, they blow up from it, their next album, people are like, oh, whatever. And then you don't hear from them for a while. And then they come back with the new sound and it's like, what? These guys are the best. What? That's the dude from this band. It's like the dude rediscovered, you know? Like he recreated himself. Yeah. He reinvented his image. So with the thank you part, I feel like I reinvented my image. I recreated myself to give me another moment for the next part, you know? And then it was like I was able to do hands-on and like make something that I felt special, like I felt great about, that I felt like could inspire someone that was just like, this dude's deadbeat, he's done, you know?
Nah, they'll never think you're done.
But it's like, I feel like with how things are going now, the hard work stuff aspect of things, like that dude does a lot of shit. Like he's like constantly gone. He fixed all these spots. Like he's like sending us pins to things. Like I feel like that's just beginning to get noticed, you know? Like anyone could just skate, but like,
I've noticed it for a long time.
I know. It's like anyone can just skate, but like how much work are you going to do one trick?
Right.
Like, are you going to like take off like 13 knobs, bondo a crack, cut a tree out, take a fence out for one trick that might get used?
Yeah, Dave will.
I 100% will.
There's a different beast inside of both of you. When you guys first met, how old were you? You were young, right? Like 13?
Like 13 or 14, 14.
Yeah.
Was there like a competitive edge to each other, or was the friendship off the break there?
No.
Nah, it was never competitive. I don't know. Like, you know, when you just meet someone, and you're like, oh, this is going to be my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how it was. We were just like friends. Yeah, we skated. And I think, I mean, we would have probably been at Tampa together in like some contest, but I don't know. I would have wanted Dave to beat me
Did you guys travel together at all as kids?
Not really.
Not as kids, no.
The whole way that Ryan came to Colorado with World, and it was like Jimmy Asselford and Tom must have been there, and whatever. So like that was like our first like introduction, and then like time goes on, and then like we're doing our things, and then like we cross paths again based on how my video part went, the Colorado one, where it was like I wanted to start it where I began, and with who was Angel, and Angel was on Volcom with Ryan.
Yeah.
And so was my friend Abdias. So Angel was like, we're going to go spend the night at Ryan's house. Then we were going to Mexico to film for Chichigov. So then we went to Ryan's house, and then this was kind of like the beginning of like a more friendship, because like the first time was like handshakes, high fives, skated for a couple days, and it was just like we'd see each other hi, This was like we're spending like 3 days at Ryan's house when you had the skate park on the side. Yeah. And Kane's a baby, and Shane is like Benny Hannaing over the spine and whatever. And then so then it was like we go into the garage, and you just have like all these shoes, or like all these old shoes in like every size, and it was like, what are all these? And it's like, we're gonna skate the launch ramp into the pool. And I was just like, what the fuck? So you just have like shoes set up so that we can like try to actually do tricks and land into the pool.
Yeah.
And where would the boards go?
Into the water.
In the
And
water.
you just had a bunch of completes ready to rock?
We just had
I think it was just like one.
Yeah, it was like one or two. That was like the pool board though,
Wow.
But that was like
Chaos.
the more intimate introduction. There was no trip obligation. You weren't just like, and that's the road, You're just like, you're present in the moment, and then the next day you're in a different state, and you kind of just remember things, but then you just don't. You're not just like fixated on them,
You never looked at that and were like, yo, what are we doing? We're kids and we're just jumping into pools with boards and just traveling.
That's what you want.
I wanted bigger ramps into the pool with more danger.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's so funny.
He is a Nitro Circus baby.
Oh, I know. That's what I love about him. He doesn't fear
He's
anything.
Like,
it's
goes
crazy.
to a cliff, and he doesn't just jump it. He gainers it.
You're
insane.
Like, ultimate goal, my dream pool is like 15 feet deep with a cascading rock that goes up, and the pinnacle of the rock is 60 feet into my pool.
Yeah.
And you can jump from each level. You can build your way up to the top level. I like free falling. I love it.
Adrenaline junkie.
I want it.
Yeah. Nitro Circus baby.
Nitro Circus baby. I know. He started calling me that. Dave's also the first guy that called me Sheck Daddy.
Sheck Daddy.
And then
that's my favorite nickname.
He spoke it into existence because I'm actually a dad now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that went to that, but it was funny that he called me Sheck Daddy. And now every once in a while, kids at skate parks, because Dave literally really only calls me that. Like, these kids will call me Sheck Daddy, and it's like, it's weird hearing it from anyone but Dave.
But see, it's also, and this goes back to like the imaginary not the imaginary characters, but like the people that you look up to and you see them on TV screens, and then you actually get to meet them in real life. It is a bit intimidating, I never fanned out because I always felt this person's got issues, they got problems, and I'm just going to let them be. And for me, that was how I dealt with like the me being nervous to actually meet my idols, So like I feel like these kids aren't as intimidated by you with that nickname.
Yeah.
So now they're like, yo, Sheck Daddy. And they're like down to like, that's their icebreaker, and they get to like actually have a moment, because you give people the time of day.
I do.
You let them, you talk to everyone.
Most humblest dude. That's why I'm always in his corner. Yeah. Humble and respectful to all this new generation, no matter where they're at, what they're doing, but all ages, the guy doesn't care. Yeah. He's like, he shows the love and the respect.
And that's what everyone should do.
For sure.
You talk about idols. Who are your idols?
I'll go out of my way to like talk to someone and get deep. Like, I'm an open book.
Let's not call them idols, because idols are kind of like something that's just like that. It's a little frowned upon. Who do you look up to?
Sorry, before you start, because I was trying to pull up a video when I was saying that. I couldn't hear you, but I got the video. Hey, Wayne, make sure you pull out that part when I'm just talking over him. Got it? I got this video of you because I wanted to pull up this video of him as Vin Diesel in Lake Powell. Oh, I found it. I was looking for it right when you said that, but keep going. I'm going to talk about this.
Where was I?
What idols?
We're not
start all over.
There's no
start
idols, man.
No, say it all over again.
Yeah. I think you know, I think this generation too, especially right now, you know, and I think people in general just like talk about like idols so like freely, and they don't really understand that means like worshiping something that's like, we're not worshiping these things, you know. It's like, who do we look up to for motivation? I think it's just a more like, it's just this easier, softer way to like, who do you look up to? Like, I just don't like the word idol. I think idol's so weird, you know, like.
I mean, let's see. I look up to like growing up, I've looked, the people I looked up to mostly were like Keith Kirchart. Yeah. You know,
was Vin Diesel in there?
No, but I'll tell you something about Fast and the Furious. So that's what changed my life. Definitely made me go rogue. But I mean, I looked up to Kirchart because all I heard was like these stories, like he'd like spy on people skating his spots, or you know, like he like only skates at nighttime, and like I really liked that, you know, because he wasn't half-assing anything. Like he only did the gnarliest shit, and he was only doing things to progress the sport. But at that time, it was like, this is a skateboarder, and I want to be a skateboarder. I don't want to be the guy that's like half-assing shit. Like I want to like either die or land, you know. I want to like do this shit the right way.
Sounds like someone I know.
Yeah, and he was always number one, and then obviously like Leo Romero, same deal. Like he's gonna do the craziest shit, not because he has to, but because he wants to, and he's gonna do it his way. I'm inspired by that. Yep. Dakota Servold, same deal. He wants to be a better skateboarder. He's gonna take care of his body. We're all doing the same thing. We're all literally taking care of our bodies just so we can skate how we want to skate. And like I was saying earlier, slow and steady, we're all continuously getting better. Our video parts are getting better. Like Leo's parts are getting better. Dakota, like,
which is so crazy.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, slow and steady, like, and just like doing it because you love it and not because someone's telling you to. Yep. Because without sponsors or any of that bullshit, like,
still skating,
I would do what I'm doing 100%. Yep. Because
who do you ride for right now?
I skate for Thank You, which is Tori and Daywan's company. And then Thunder and Spitfire and Bone Swiss. And obviously 303 Boards has been my my skate shop since I was 10.
Damn.
Yeah. When I was breaking into cars.
You talk about taking care of your body, Ryan. You always talk about that recently. You've done a lot about training, and you've done a lot of focus on your routines. Oh, yeah. I know you're crazy about that. What goes into that? Like, do you think it makes you a better skater?
I think it makes you more clear, and the clearness for me makes me a better skateboarder because I'm more focused and I have more intent when I'm actually going to skate. I'm not just going to go skate to like, oh, let's see how skateboarding works today. Like, I know skateboarding is going to work good today because I've been training and I've been eating well and I have a good energy system and my body is ready for the impact. It's preventative measures to injury. Obviously, at some point you can't avoid the injury that is going to happen, and it's inevitably going to happen. But you can prepare and get your body ready for fast twitch kind of movement to get out of something that could be catastrophic for skateboarding. So yeah, I mean, I've always been like an advocate to training because I think it's really good, and I think it's a really good release, like endorphins, and like you feel accomplished after an hour or 2 hour workout. Like you feel great because you did something and you move it and you're sweating and like your body's flowing and it's good. And then you know, after that workout, you get a medium to large meal depending on like how you're eating during that day. Like that all comes into play too. Like what's your calorie, you know, you talked about calorie intake, and like it's funny to hear skateboarders talk about, you know, nutrition, but the guys that David's talking about, like Leo and Dakota, like these guys are the gnarliest street skateboarders, David included in that. Like these guys are the gnarliest street skateboarders. And so like if these three dudes like actually started showing kids that this was their routine and like what they were doing, it would change the whole face of like street skateboarding right now. For sure. Like if they just like showed a little bit of what they're up to, we probably shouldn't even be talking about it. Leo's going to call you and be like, why'd you tell him
Did
that?
You see the last video he posted?
No.
So the last video he posted, he just had ankle surgery, and he posted the video of them like cleaning out his ankle, but he added like someone chainsawing a tree down as like the sound, so it's just all and then like the next scene's like them like moving his ankle, but it's like a not oiled hinge, so it's all but like he hasn't been skating for like close to 2 months, and he just goes right into it. Like he's back, but so he put this video together, and it's just like it just shows that like he did PT for it. Like he's got like the cold lasers and all the bullshit.
Yeah, if
whatever,
you take care of your body, you can use it longer and harder. Like you can use it, especially for that. Like what your body remembers. So if you store up all of these like pre-workouts and like all of this stuff that you do when you don't need to be doing it, your body remembers when you are hurt. So when you are hurt, your body's like, oh, okay, no, I remember what this felt like to come back. Like this is all logged, instead of like not doing it, where all of a sudden you come back and it's like, it actually feels brand new. And that's the worst part of skateboarding, is like being hurt for a year and then coming back and it feeling like you don't know what you're doing. There's nothing, there's worse things, but for me, that's like one of the worst things.
Yeah. Cause you know where you were, and you know how many hours you skated to get to that confident level. Yeah. And then it's like starting over. But the beauty is you get to do it again.
You get to.
Yeah.
But for skaters, like for pro skaters, obviously you can't just go into a gym and throw up like free throws. You can't just go to a track and run sprints. You can't just, like what can a kid who's trying to become a pro skater, especially in a world now where people are doing 5 tricks in, 5 tricks out, 4 tricks on the rail. Like how can you like combat that? How can a kid that's on TikTok trying to expose himself as a pro skater and trying to find brands? Like I feel like the world's completely different though from when you guys came out, right?
Oh, it's night and day, dude.
Yeah, it's backwards.
It's backwards for sure. That's a good way to put it. I think that
the quality level's lower.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I just think you don't worry about that. I think if you really love skateboarding, it will shine through when it's supposed to, and the people that are going to see it, who are supposed to see it, will. I think if you force it and you try to flood social media with tricks every day, I don't know. Just like, I guess the question you would ask yourself is, why are you doing this? Do you want to do it because you love skateboarding, or do you want to do it because you think people around you think skateboarding's cool? Mm-hmm. Which, both are acceptable answers.
It is strange.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can, and it's like view count and stuff. You're just like, I can put like 4 years into a project and get like 125, 200,000 views, or I can put one clip on Instagram and get like 1 million, and you're just like, what? And then I think that's what it comes down to.
But does that really ruin your emotional tie and like,
but that trick that I put on Instagram was just like, it wasn't the trick, it was like the warm up to the trick.
It's weird.
And then that brings down quality, and then it waters down like the importance of like quality. And then you just have like an abundance and like a oversaturated industry of like, that's trending, so it must be good, and you're just like, no, it's not.
Such an overutilized word right now.
Trending.
2023. I hate it, even as a business owner.
It's crazy, and I don't knock it, because a lot of the things that I do, like putting that trip together, was all based through Instagram. I was DMing, and I still do. I'll DM everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what's up with the hotel room? Mm-hmm. And I'll make a deck and I'll send it, and I'll be like, send me an email, call me, But it's like, my introduction is through DMs, and that's social media, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It gives you access. Yeah, even as a business owner, it gives you access. But then if you hop on every trend, you're not going to have a brand. You're not going to have any culture. You're not going to have any substance.
I just used it recently I reached out to this pizza oven company called Gosney.
That seems like dope.
I seen it at Billy Kemper's house.
Yeah.
We never got to use it, but I seen it at his house, and I just I reached out to this company, and I forget what I said, but long story short, they sent me one. They sent me this dome, and it took me like 4 hours to set this thing up. Long story short, like I screwed up the first 2 pizzas, and I was devastated because I was hungry and I only had enough dough for 2, and like in my mind, I thought I was gonna be
the best,
good at making pizzas for the first time ever in a pizza oven, and I blew it.
Yeah,
and I was so frustrated with this thing, and I planned an attack. I did crazy research, and I figured out how to like get the dough, room temperature, flour, the whole nine, bro. I went completely psychopath.
You turned into a pizza man.
And bro, and I made 10 pizzas that night,
Yeah.
and they were all great.
I saw photos. They looked good.
They were all great,
Yeah.
you know? But the power of social media, like I
Yeah.
have a story to talk about because of, I DM'd these guys.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, hey, and I didn't want it for free. I just wanted a discount.
Yeah. Yeah, let me get a discount,
And
bro.
What's your favorite pizza?
Oh, dude, for me,
Yeah.
pepperoni, mushroom, sausage. That's my favorite pizza.
What's your favorite pizza?
Well, everyone hates pineapple on pizza, but
My wife loves pineapple
I like-
on pizza.
I like pepperoni, pineapple, jalapeno.
That's a good one.
Oh,
That's a
pineapple
good combo.
jalapeno ham is insane.
Yeah, Hawaiian.
I'm super Italian, so
Yeah.
What's your favorite pizza?
I don't know. I try not to eat carbs.
Well, this
Nah,
is when I ate carbs.
I like jalapenos and I like chicken. I like barbecue sauce. I've been trying to lean up lately, so I've been on a different diet.
No,
Yeah.
you look good. You've been working.
I just eat a bunch of protein bars all day, and I live on the treadmill. Like I put a treadmill underneath my desk. I put a treadmill in the shower, in my room, in my bed, in the kitchen, and I just threw all the food away in my kitchen. That's it. Protein bars.
So you're telling me if I go to your house, in your pantry,
Yeah.
all your snacks are gone?
No, not a chance. But I will tell you this: when I dropped the snack company like 2-3 years ago, the first guy I went to was Ryan's house.
Dressed up as Willy Wonka.
And I dressed up as Willy Wonka, and I made a billboard, and I put my face on it. And my mom called me, and she's like, "Yo, you need to get your face off this billboard right now." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Because you put your face on Willy Wonka's face, and that's like there's licensing and copyrights. Like, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Oh, damn." So I took my billboard down, and I put up another billboard. But in the meantime, I went and bought a Willy Wonka costume, and I go, "Whose house could I drive to that would appreciate this?" And I drove to Ryan's house, dressed up as Willy Wonka. Didn't even tell him I was coming, honking my horn, being a complete idiot. Almost crashed into his garage. He invited me with open arms.
Well, and the crazy thing was he showed up at my door in a Willy Wonka costume. And when you open my door at my old house, that Willy Wonka painting I had was
Yeah.
on the thing. And
Gene Wilder,
Baby
yeah.
was tripping. But yeah, dude, I mean, I think we're getting into food now. So,
Yeah, before we wrap this up, shout out to the pizza discoveries over here. All right, so this clip right here was Ryan in Lake Powell, and I had never like wake surfed. I had never wakeboarded. I had never even been in a lake. I don't float.
I'd never wake surfed like this, though.
And basically, there was this like mountain, and how you talk about like land the trick or die.
Yeah.
Like this is Ryan in a nutshell. And this is why I'm always like so inspired by this dude. He's like, yo, I want to get as close as I can to the rocks. And I want to see like if I can like, you know,
Wall ride it or
yeah, and
something,
like
yeah.
do something crazy. And the guy's just going for days, and he's like going through these Lake Powell channels and kind of just living in his own world. At one point, we forgot he was even behind the boat because he just did this for like literally a half a mile. And he just kept going, and then he hops on the board. He's like, wow, he hops on the boat.
Prep
Like,
board.
it was insane. Yeah, and he just did this for days. But this is like you in a nutshell, like this like XXX lifestyle that you
Oh,
think,
yeah,
you know, this
man,
like
just-
this like Vin Diesel lifestyle, dude.
It's more just like excitement, man.
I told you.
just get bored. I
Nitro
get
Circus,
bored.
baby.
Yeah, I want some sort of feeling. Like David was saying earlier, like I am possibly same addicted to fear and pain. And I don't like to say that because like when I say it out loud, I'm like, I don't want to be in pain. But I mean, recently I'm like going over my completely okay, you know, back tattoo, full back tattoo. And I have like 10 sessions to get this thing done. I'm going 3 hours every other Wednesday to like get it done. It doesn't need to be done, but I want it. I want to do it.
Who's doing your tats?
Franco Vescovi. And so it's like, it's an honor to have him doing it. Like he just redid the Sheckler, which I didn't realize the Sheckler was so faded because like, obviously I can't see it. And so I had no idea. And yeah, he just redid it last Wednesday or this week, popped the whole thing. And now I'm like, oh man, but it was crazy to have Franco like redo my first tattoo. You know, I got it when I was 17 and like this many years later to have him, who is obviously a legend and one of the best tattoo artists on the planet with a crazy story. He might be one of our next guests. We might actually do it in the tattoo shop while I'm getting tattooed.
Only you would do that. I'm down.
I think it just knowing what comes out of that pain
Yeah.
is why we are so addicted to it.
Yep.
It's because, you know, like if you can tolerate it and you can make all the mistakes and you could like figure out what this thing is that you're trying to dissect, there is a good feeling at the end of that tunnel. You know, there is success or like an accomplishment.
Yeah. Very short-lived, but
It's gone as quick as it came.
Yeah,
You know,
nonetheless, it's there.
you're just like, holy shit, I did it, and then it's back to the all over again.
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the brim.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of this, obviously we're towards the end of this podcast, and one thing that I think anybody watching this can see from you guys is that you guys love skating, and that's not going away, and that you guys love the idea of pushing the boundaries continuously, tricks and spots and, you know, endings and parts, and the ideas of curating content that people have never seen that gets like emotion. You know, obviously I want to ask Ryan this too from my point of view, is like, where does this part, like when does the part and the ending and the enders and the stylized and the music and the content, when does that completely change where you think it's going to be, you know, something that you would have to change the way you look at everything you do? Or do you already feel it's happening?
Like,
in terms of the content of where you put out content, like of where you actually put out the videos?
like platform wise,
Yeah.
like, well, this is going on Thrasher. Thrasher's like that's like it, you know, as far as it goes. Like, I mean, a lot of people like Primitive and April, and a lot of those people are just going straight to their YouTubes, but they have like a following and an established thing already going, so that's kind of where they go. But everyone kind of like, Thrasher is skateboarding, so it's like, that's where we put our stuff. So, for instance, the project that I've been working on for the last year and a half will be on Thrasher next year through what I believe we're doing a thank you full-length video. So it'll be like Tori Pudwell, Day One Song, Danny Hamaguchi, and myself, and then we plan to put someone else on. But it wasn't always going to be a full-length video. It was just going to be in my part, because all the trips I've done have been out of my pocket with assistance from other companies, but I've had to deliver deliverables. So I'm working for those contributions to the trip. It's not because I'm filming for anything in particular for them. But now, since it's going to be a thank you trip, I'm about to be like, you guys got to do this. You guys got to get me that, you know.
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
So,
Tell Tori. He'll do it.
But
we should have had Tori in here too.
yeah.
Man.
Let's see. That's the thing, is like,
a 5-hour podcast.
It's hard to ask for stuff, you know. And I think now, since I know how to do it in like a business manner, it's easier because I know what I'm worth, and I know that I'm not gonna like let you down. I'm going to do a lot of work to make it beneficial for both of us. So it's like, it's easier for me to like pitch things that will like further my career. And it's literally just to film a video part.
Yeah.
Like, once that video part's gone, that's it, you know? It's like, then I just start filming the next one. But there is no longevity through this one deal I'm doing. You know,
No.
It's just like, it's literally just for the moment to continuously be on the road and just to make it to the next stop. Like, I'm like a band.
Yeah.
We're like all bands. We're just a band.
Tours.
We're just trying to get to the next show.
Yeah. What about Sandlot Times? You gonna do like a team part or some sort? Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna. I got something coming up that I got to deal with. Body wise, my toe. I got to get a clean out surgery at the end of this year. It shouldn't be too gnarly. Should be a pretty quick recovery as well. Just years of torment and torture, and I've actually had enough of it popping out, and I'm gonna get it addressed. But I'll be good by January 1 to start filming completely, which is sick. And obviously, I can still film right now. I just I'm not sure when I'm gonna get this surgery. Sometime soon, very soon, definitely this year. But yeah, dude, it's whatever. It's part of the gig.
Yeah.
I have a toe that pops out.
Yeah, you do.
But do you feel like,
I do.
is it a Sandlot Times move to make like a YouTube platform and push your own internal platform, or you have to team up with a media company, or you just do it for fun?
I mean, dude, sure. We'll do it with Thrasher. We'd love to do it with Red Bull Media House.
Yeah.
Red Bull
Yeah,
Media
that was
House is a
insane.
monster.
That was
You know,
insane.
they're a monster.
That was one of the best premieres I've ever been to, including like real main feature cinema movies.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Red Bull knows how to do it. Thrasher knows how to do it. Sandlot, we're just building. Like, we're building right now. We're not in a rush to be the biggest brand. Like, that's not even really what our goal is. Like, we just want to like
Peaceful.
We're just chilling. We just want to support skateboarding, good skateboarding, and a good message, and you know, kind of we just want to be what we want to be, which is skateboarders, filming, traveling, and be able to like have crazy collabs where like we're going on a Sandlot trip, but we need Dave on the trip. You know, Dave rides for thank you. Like if Tori wants to come, he can come too. You know, like, or if he goes on a trip, like I want to go on that trip. It doesn't mean that we're like, I think cool. Sandlot and thank you are like born out of the same idea and the same vibe. Like we want to do it our way, but we also want to collab with the people that we love. And so like, it's cool. That's where we're at.
I love it. Yeah. It's calming. There's like an ease to you guys, right? At this age. You have an understanding.
33, man. Welcome.
Internally.
Welcome. I mean, yeah, I'm finally at your age. It feels good.
I feel good. I put out and I feel good. Yeah. On the inside, I'm just like strive. I want to be on the road, you know?
I mean, the community loves the fact that Shex is doing this and kind of putting skaters on a platform that, you know, obviously we're trying our hardest to grow this and kind of give everybody a bigger voice and a bigger message, but at the same time exposure where they can get mainstream media and get mainstream attention and maybe help them with budgets and sponsors and stuff. But at the same time, just letting people tell their story where it's appreciated. And I think the skate community loves the fact that Shex does this. I think it's amazing that you guys have this relationship. You guys could do this. It's obviously so authentic and organic. It's so easy to sit here, you know?
Yeah. Anyone out there with the Miley Cyrus connect, get this tour.
It's all just pass my number down or slide in my DM. Cool. I'll be there.
So that's it, guys. That's it. That's how we're going to end this thing, man. Flip the script, episode 3, David Reyes, Bear, the mayor, and
my dogs.
Legend.
Thank you, guys.
Legend.
We'll see you guys on the next one. Don't know who it's going to be or where it's going to be, but it's the beauty of this thing. See you then.